Josh Green here for Seconds Out in Liverpool. Delighted to be joined by Matchroom CEO Frank Smith, ahead of another NextGen show. How are you doing, Frank?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm excited to be here in Liverpool. Massive NextGen show coming here, and good to get another one up and running.
You've been jetting off all around the world of late. Nice to finally land on British soil.
Yeah, I actually wasn't in New York. I missed New York, so it was my missus' 30th birthday, so I got away with missing that trip, which I can't say I'm sad about, but I am sad about, because if I say I'm sad about it, my missus will get upset that I'm sad that I didn't go to work. That makes sense? Didn't make sense to me, but you know what I mean.
Terrific card this week. There's a couple of real fights that have gone under the radar, probably even the main event. Mark Leach is possibly an even tougher challenge for Pete McGrail than the original O'Quinn fight. What do you make of it? Yeah,
I think it's a very hard fight. You know, we've seen Mark Leach in there in some great fights. He's awkward as well. He's an awkward fighter, but I think Peter McGrail's a brilliant talent. You know, I think, you know, people will look at a record and think a loss is the be-all and end-all. He was winning every round of that fight in America, and he switched off for a second, and that's the danger of this sport. But he's a brilliant fighter, Peter McGrail. We believe he's got so much left to give. You know, we obviously were supposed to do the rematch here, but unfortunately O'Quinn had to withdraw, and we send our best to him. But yeah, it's a tough fight for him, and a great undercard as well. You know, you've got Junaid Boston, who boxed on the same show in America back in December. He had a real test that night as well. You know, a real test, and I think he's got a tough fight. He's moving up to his first 10-rounder this Saturday, and he wants to move quickly. But he's got a tough fight against Jack Martin. Beatriz Ferrera goes for her first world title, someone we're very excited about. You know, look, she's looking to win a world title and then go to Paris and win Olympic gold in July. I don't know. I said it was history. I don't know. Maybe it is.
Can't think of any other fighters that have done that.
So, you know, I think, let's say that she'll be the first person to win a world championship and then go and win a gold medal as well. But she's got a massive future. You know, there's big fights to be made, unifications to be made after this as well. Joe McGrail, who we signed recently, Peter McGrail's brother. Joe McGrail's a very talented fighter. You know, we had him on the card in America as well, and he had a spectacular performance. We said we got to get Joe McGrail, so he's on here as well. Steve Clark boxed in Manchester a few weeks ago, another Liverpool talent, huge ticket seller. It's his third fight in 4 months. You know, Paul Smith keeping him nice and busy. Frankie Stringer, managed by Liam Smith, another great talent coming through in Liverpool. Maisie Rose Courtney, you know, she's got a fight here. She's been ordered to fight Chloe Watson for the EBU, which will be next, and we're working on now. And Hamzoudin's professional debut as well. So, stacked card. I hope I haven't missed anyone, but I think I got them all.
The plan for Pete McGrail to avenge that loss eventually, is that the plan next?
I think so. Look, if the opportunity's there, if not, you know, if he comes through this fight in great fashion, then we'll just, you know, we'll decide from there. Like, I don't think that he wants to avenge that defeat, but at the same time, you can't let that decide the route you're going to go down. You know, I think it was the right fight if it happened now. If it doesn't happen next, you know, then maybe we look at something else.
I wanted to touch on Beatriz Ferrera and the story, really. She's only a number of fights into her professional career. I saw her out in Sheffield just a few months back. It really is a terrific story where she's come from to the position she's in now, fighting for that world title, and as you say, in the summer off to the Olympics to hopefully secure a gold medal along with it.
Yeah, she's a tremendous fighter. Look, the Brazilian team have got an unbelievable squad. I think they've, you know, her trainer, they've got some big names going into the Olympics there. But I think she's got huge talent, and she's a great character as well. She's a brilliant character, a great personality. She's learning a bit of English slang, so we're teaching her that. And she's a good dancer as well. Got good feet. Yeah, watch it on Saturday night. She'll probably do a backflip.
I saw some of your dancing earlier. Are you up there with her? Or?
I'm retired, mate. I'm retired from dancing. I'm out of the game.
I want to talk to you about last Saturday in Ryan Garcia against Devin Haney. A result really that shocked the world, certainly shocked social media. When you said earlier you didn't watch the fight, but when you woke up the morning after...
No, I didn't watch Barboza against McComb. Oh, yeah, I missed that. I caught up on the fight. I'll be honest, it was 5:30 in the morning where I was, so I think I watched it at like 7 a.m. when I woke up. A brilliant fight. And look, credit to both guys for taking real fights, because both of them have done it throughout their careers. They're about legacy. Look, money comes with taking great fights, obviously, but they're about legacy. They're about challenging themselves. And he showed a lot of heart in there, Devin Haney. You know, showed a lot of heart getting up from those big punches, and he'll be back even stronger. And Ryan Garcia, credit to him, he's a huge star in the sport, Ryan Garcia. So a big night in Brooklyn. Looked a great atmosphere in there, and we'll see what happens next. But I'm sure Devin Haney will take some time and then plan what he wants to do next. Obviously, he's still the WBC 140 champion. I think there's a mandatory there against Sandor Martin. So let's see.
Is that the route you would look to plan for Devin? It's obviously a tough fight against Sandor. He may want to make sure he gets back in that win column before taking such a tough fight against someone like Sandor Martin.
I think it's mandatory, is the reality. Unless he looks to move up in weight. Although he's come up from 135, he's still quite big. So he's not small. He pushes himself to make the weight. But I think let's see what happens. There's massive fights to be made for all of these guys because they're willing to take real fights.
The tactics that Ryan Garcia employed throughout the weeks leading up to the fight and the fight week itself, is there any worry that we're going to see more of those sort of tactics, sort of on the mental health side? And is there any worry that we could see that a bit more?
Look, it's a difficult one because the people who were there to take care of the sport and that, the New York State Athletic Commission would have been very involved. I know he had multiple meetings with them, and they decided he was free to fight. I think, he's a guy who expresses himself. He's got opinions, he's got feelings. And I don't know how much of it is smoke and mirrors, how much of it is real, how much of it is it for show. Like, say about drinking a beer on the stage, and he says apple juice. I don't know. I don't know. But I think he showed he was fit and ready to go into that fight. He did what he did.
Whether it's real or not, though, does it not set a bad example to... He's got a huge following on social media. Does it set a bad example to the people that watch him and follow him?
He's not the first, and he won't be the last. People with opinions that people don't agree with. And in any sport. He's not just boxing. He has a platform, he's vocal. He said a lot of things, but he's not the only person in the world that's done that with a public, a very open public persona. So it's hard to say, really. It's hard to say. We don't represent Ryan Garcia. We're not close enough to understand the depth of it. But he went in there and he delivered. How much is it? Like I say, how much of it is for show? Who knows? But people are watching. People are tuning in.
Big week for Matchroom Boxing. Press conference yesterday in New York. Terence Crawford back against Israil Madrimov. Real test for him. How much do you see that as a big challenge, obviously representing Madrimov?
Look, spectacular show that the Riyadh season team have put together and shown again what they can do in the sport, bringing together 13 odd promoters to put on the best possible fights and the best possible nights. Respect to Israil Madrimov jumping straight in there against pound for pound number one Terence Crawford. He's shown that he wants to challenge himself. So respect to him for that, because a lot of fighters wouldn't do that. He's only had 10 fights. Although they've had big, amateur careers, he's had 10 professional fights. And he's become a world champion. He's a spectacular talent. I believe he's going to cause Terence Crawford problems. I think the size of him as well. Look, when you think of where Terence Crawford has come up from as well, in weight from when he started, I know it's been a long time now, and I know he's a spectacular talent, but I think we're in for a real fight and a spectacular undercard that Riyadh season have put together, and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and Dr. Akan, tremendous.
We'll talk about one of those undercard fights in a minute, but you talk about the weights that Terence Crawford's gone up. We've seen it with Canelo going up weight after weight after weight. Eventually, maybe the size becomes more of a factor. We saw that against Bivol. When does it become a factor, do you believe, for Terence Crawford?
I don't know. Honestly, you don't know, do you? Because you would have said about Canelo Alvarez going. Even in the Sergey Kovalev fight when he won the light heavyweight championship that he fought that many years ago, you would have said, how can he do that? But I think he's a brilliant talent. But I'm not the tactician. I just know we're in for a great fight come August 3rd. And also our man Andy Cruz on the undercard, spectacular talent. Probably one of the best young. Well, he's not really a prospect because he's moving so quickly. But you know what I mean. There's so much out there for him, and excited to see him get a big opportunity in LA.
Andy Ruiz, Jarrell Miller on the undercard. Miller bouncing back from a defeat, I should say. Proof that even if you have a defeat over in Saudi Arabia on these big shows, if you have a performance, those opportunities are very much still there.
Yeah, but the sport as a whole, it's about entertaining people, regardless of results. I think it's been to the detriment of the sport for too long that people are written off after a loss. If you give entertainment, if you deliver value, you'll always be back. Not just saying for Riyadh, but in general for putting on shows, we want entertainment. And if that means a fighter has lost, it doesn't mean anything. And that's, like I say, for too long the sport, I think, has been sort of dragged backwards because of that mentality. But I think, look, what an undercard fight there from Riyadh season. Israil Miller, Andy Ruiz, great fight there. Isaac Pitbull Cruz, another special fighter, huge following as well against Valenzuela. He's a brilliant fight. David Morrell, moves up to light heavyweight as well. Stacked card from top to bottom.
Seeing a Riyadh season fight out in the US, does this give hope to fans that we could see a Riyadh season card out here in the UK at some point?
I hear there's a lot of talk about it. It's great to see. It's great to see Riyadh season moving to international territory. So hopefully, we'd love to see a one in the UK, because look at that card. It's cards that wouldn't be created. For sure, hope we can do that.
Just one question on the 5v5 Matchroom Queensbury. Are there anything in place regarding replacement opponents if there was an injury or anybody was to drop out for any reason?
Look, if there's an injury, we'll work to try and figure something out. Whether that means the same fight, we'll work our best. We'll all do our best to try and make the same opponent from whichever side. But if not, we'll work to put together another fight. But hopefully, touch wood, somewhere there's no injuries.
Final thing from me. Hearn versus Warren Jenga. Have you managed to view that?
Bits of it, quite funny to be fair. I know how competitive Eddie is, so But also, I must say, the two of them can't play Jenga.
He's in two hands. That's cheating for a start.
Yeah, but also, aren't you supposed to put the bits back on top?
Yeah, it makes it so much easier.
I suppose then you can't answer the questions twice again. But I'll take it all back. I can't play Jenga either.
The bet for the 5v5 loss, you're going to be going to Queensbury offices if they win. Andy Ayling's going to be going to the Matchroom. Have you? Was that all planned out? Were you aware of that before it became?
It was on the spot, but I will do anything because I believe we're going to win, so it's irrelevant anyway. I can't wait to have Andy Ayling in making tea. It'll be the longest day I do in the office ever. I'll be in there from 7 till midnight. So, it's the same the other way. I have to stay for as long as the last person's in the office for. So I'm ready.
Good stuff. Cheers for your time, Frank.